Hello, today we're going to go over how to make a layer, merge a layer, and how to group layers. The first thing you need to know is a layer is a part of the canvas that contains a piece of information about that canvas. Now, if you direct your attention over here to this section, this is where all your layers for your specific canvas, the one that you see here, will be located at. And each layer contains a different piece of information. As you can see, that each layer has two little boxes on the side and then one big box in the middle, and then it says some information about that layer, like layer 2, and then it says normal, and then 100%. Now, what all of this means is this little eye over here in the furthest little box, if you click on it, whatever is on that layer will disappear. And it doesn't mean that it disappears permanently, just when you close it, it means you cannot see whatever is on that layer. But if you open it, you can see what is on that layer. And then this bottom here pins the layer, so you can no longer do anything with it. Next, over here in this big box, this is a thumbnail of whatever is in that layer. So whatever is in that layer is displayed in this little box right there. And then next to that thumbnail says the layer name. This is layer 2. And you can actually rename this by double clicking on it. And then it'll come up and it says layer name, and you can rename it, and I'm going to rename this layer to line art. And then you just click OK. And now it says line art. Now underneath it, it says normal. It's like, you're probably wondering, what the heck is mode? Well, mode is this little thing right up here, just above opacity. Now mode tells you what type of layer it is. You can set it to many different modes. You can set it to multiply, screen, overlay, luminosity, shade, luminosity and shade, and then binary color. I will get a little more into this in a different lesson. But for now, we're just going to leave it as normal. And then 100% is pertaining to opacity, which is over here. It tells you how much you can see of that specific layer. Okay, so that's basically what a layer is. Now you see this little pin that just appeared in that little section, and this is also highlighted. That means you are currently on that layer. Whatever layer you click on is the layer you're currently on, and that little pin allows you to know, along with it being purple, allows you to know that you have selected that layer. Okay, now you know what a layer is. We're going to tell you how to make a layer. So over here in this little box-like area above the layers has a bunch of different little icons. Now, everything in this little box has to do with layers. And the first thing you'll see to your very left is this little paper looking thing. This is how you make a new layer. You just click on that little paper thing and a new layer appears. As you can see, a layer 8 just appeared. And then this has nothing on it, so you can't see it doing anything. But if I go over here to the box and I click marker and I just go whoop, and now I've drawn on that layer, and you can click the eye, and now that layer has that blue line on it. Now say you want to delete a layer. All you have to do is go to the little trash can and click on it, and whatever layer you have selected will be deleted, like I just deleted the layer 8 that we had just created. Now let's make another layer. Layer 8 appears again. Whatever layers that you have, if you have layer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the layers just appear in number. So if you don't have them named, it will appear in number order. So this is layer 8. Now let's draw a little blue line on it again, and then we can go to eraser, which will actually clear the layer rather than deleting it. So if you don't want to make a new layer and you just want to delete everything that's on the layer, you can just hit the little eraser looking icon, and now the blue line is gone and the layer is still there. Now let's say you want to make 2 layers into 1 layer. So for example, we have, let's say, layer 5 and layer 4. Now layer 5 has some shading on it, and so does layer 4. So it's like, okay, these layers are pretty similar, I can probably merge them. So you click on layer 5. You always want to click the top layer, because when you do what I'm about to do, it always merges down. So you have 2 options for merging an image. You can either transfer down the layer, which will, I'll just show you. You click on it, and now everything that was on layer 5 is now on layer 4, but layer 5 is still there. And let's undo that. And now everything is back on layer 5. Now, if you want the layers to actually merge and there just be 1 layer, you can go to the second option, which looks like a little dotted piece of paper on top of another paper. You click on that. Now both of the layers will be merged into layer 4. Always make sure whatever you're merging is on top. So if you want something to go into another layer, whatever layer you want it to merge into should be on bottom, and whatever layer you're going to merge should be on top. That's very important to remember. Now, say you want to create a line art layer. A line art layer is a very specific layer that is strictly meant for doing the outline of an image. Basically, to make a line art image layer, all you have to do is click on this little paper and pen icon, and now you'll see Line Art Work 1 has appeared. And you get all these very specific tool sets for this layer. We'll go into that in a different lesson. For now, we're going to delete the Line Art Work 1 layer, but that is how you make a line art work layer. Now let's say you want to actually group these, because let's say you are getting too many layers and it's becoming more and more difficult to find what layer is what. So you want to make a little group for your layers. And this is where this little folder comes in. You click on the folder and it appears as set 1. And it also has all the options that a normal layer has. You can change these options according to what you want the layers inside that group to be. So let's set this as shade. So all the layers that contain shading will be put in this little group. Now to put this in the group, because right now we don't have anything in there, you just click on it to open it, and to put the all shaded layers in there, we're just going to click on that layer and then click and hold and drag it up. It's going to turn pink, and then it's going to turn like a little pink selection on the top of the little folder you've selected, and you're going to have a little paper icon next to your mouse. And you're going to drop it, you're going to release your little mouse click, and it's going to fall right into the little folder. And now, as you can see, it's slightly more to the right now versus all the other layers. So that means that is in the folder. And now that this is on the folder, you can actually close the folder eye, and everything that's on that layer cannot be seen, but the layer we've put in there actually had its eyes closed. So as you can see, it goes from gray to being white. as we open and close that layer eye. We're also going to drag in this other layer that has an invisible eye on it. And now we're going to drag in layer 5 and layer 4. And layer 3. But as you can see, I just dragged them out of order, so now everything in the image does not look as it originally did. To fix this, you can just put the images back in order. You can put layer 6 and layer 7. You just arrange them by clicking on them and then dragging them to where you want to go. It's very similar to dragging them into the folder. And then you just drag them into order. And now you can close the actual folder and it will hide all the layers to give you more space to work with. And then if you don't like this being on top, because I have the liner on that should be on top, because now all the color layers are on top of the line art, which is making some of the line art disappear. So we're just going to move the line art layer, we're going to select it and then move it up to where the little shade folder is not selected and it's above the shade folder, and you click on that and now it's going to move up. So now we have all of our shading underneath our line art in a little subfolder. Very nice. So that is it for today. We now know how to merge a layer, group a layer, and create a new layer.